Greetings to all. This is King Etchu, the radical Pan-African activist from Amazonia. The Vice President of Gambia passed away in India. The President of Gambia, President Adama Barrow, announced that Vice President died in India on Tuesday, January 17, after a short illness. Reports in India media suggested the Vice President was in India for medical treatment. This is one of the greatest mistakes that African leaders don't want to learn from. If you notice, many African leaders, doesn't matter if it's from Gambia, which is a small country, yes, but why is a nation of Gambia, a small nation, have to send their vice president to India, to the most populated nation on earth that has 1.4 billion people? That is the size of the population of the entire Africa. But the president of Gambia, or vice president of Gambia, went to India, to 1.4 billion population of people, to go get treatment, instead of getting treatment in Gambia or any other African country. Well, how come African leaders, African heads of states, African vice presidents, prime ministers, why are they not investing in better hospitals, in creating better hospitals? I mean, Gambia should have a good hospital, 1 or 2 hospitals that the president, vice president can actually go and get cured on any illnesses that they are facing. They don't have to fly out of the continent of Africa to go to India, to go to China, to go to Europe, to go to the United States to get treatment, when you have many African diasporas working in the United States and across Europe, treating patients in other nations, better medical doctors of African descent or African diaspora. But for some reason, the African leaders cannot think that, oh, let's create a better hospital system in our continent. We could create better hospital system in Gambia. We can create better hospital system in West Africa, where Gambia is part of West Africa. We could create better hospital system in Central Africa, in North Africa, in Southern Africa, and in East Africa, in each country of those regions in Africa. But our African leaders, they don't think beyond. Gambia needs better hospital where the vice president of Gambia should not fly to India or any other nation out of Africa to get treatment. If you notice, the president of Nigeria, the most populated nation in Africa, still flies out to UK to get treatment. Not to talk about this living corpse in Cameroon called President Paul Biya, who flies and goes to Switzerland or in France or whatever to go get treatment. A living corpse that doesn't want to die and don't want to give power in Cameroon gets his treatment out of Cameroon and out of Africa. Why? What is taking African leaders to think, let's create better hospitals in our continent, in our region, in our country, so that we don't have to fly out of our countries, our continent, or our region to go to other nations to get treatment? African leaders, heads of states, all over the 55 countries of Africa, must create better hospital system across the continent of Africa, so that they cannot fly out and go to other nations and other continents to get treatment. You see, the leaders of Africa have made Africa in a way that the people of Africa have to swim through the oceans to go to other continents to get better lives. Meanwhile, the leaders, the heads of states, have to fly out of the continent to go get better treatment. In the process, still dying. You're running from the continent of Africa to die from the hospitals that are there in Africa because you don't want to make those hospitals better, to go only to go and die in other continents. Africa seems to be very fucking hopeless. 1 step forward, 20 steps backwards. It's ridiculous. The leaders of Africa need to wake up. The heads of states of Africa need to wake up. We need to change the continent of Africa. We need to. You can't keep hearing the Vice President of Gambia or any other African country goes out in India or Europe or wherever to go get treatment and in the process die because the heads of states cannot create better hospital system that can work in the continent of Africa. Africa is really a hellhole. This is King Etchu.